Hey everybody, welcome to Ellis Mowers. I appreciate y'all watching. Got this on a trade. Troy Bilt pony. It's a 2006 model. Sold the guy 2 Craftsman lawnmowers. Needed one for himself and one for his daughter. And I got this plus a decent amount of money. He said it would not start. It does turn over, it just doesn't start. The one thing, we'll get in right into this. This is a 42-inch cut, 17.5 horsepower brakes. Before I even get it off the trailer, here's what I'm going to do. It'll turn over, I'll show you. But I guess they were trying to work with the coil and magneto and stuff, and it looks like the coil is gapped way too far. You see that? So I'll show you that it won't crank right now. First, and I can see gas and stuff shooting out the side there. Won't crank on choke or anything like that. So. Gotta lube that choke up, but I'm just gonna see if I can loosen this up right here and push it in some. Don't push it in. I'm going to try and leave like a business card width in between. So what I usually do is turn it around, and this one needs to come out a little bit. You probably can't see it, but I'm just trying to gap the coil to where it's pretty close. Let's see if it starts up now. No. So we got a bigger issue going on than this. I guess I'll get it off of the trailer and see what is going on with it. Because I'm not quite sure. Hopefully the magnets in the flywheel haven't gone out. I do have a couple of flywheels here, but we might have a valve issue, but it wasn't that, unfortunately. I might try and crank on it to make sure, because there's a lot of gas in the carburetor, and I want to make sure that it's not flooded right now. That has fouled out the plug. So let me get it off of the trailer. I was hoping to get it running on the trailer, and I'll check the plug, make sure it's firing. If not, I'll put a different one in there and see if I can get it to fire, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, I'm gonna kind of show you what I'm thinking is wrong with this thing. So here I have a new coil, and if you watch people like Mixed Mowers and whatnot, he'll show you exactly how to test these things. But I'm putting one lead here with my ohm meter and one lead on the actual plug-in. Ooh, if I can get it in there. And I don't know if y'all can see that very well back there, but we're talking about 4.8 volts, or ohms, excuse me. So that's kind of, I think that's kind of in the range of where we need to be. It might be a little bit on the low end, but let me show you when I do it to the coil that is actually on the mower right now. I'm pretty much not getting anything. So that tells me that the coil's gone out. So let me go ahead and swap this coil out. Might have to get it in the garage because it's about to storm. Really doesn't take long to do. I had a couple that were in the garage, or in the shed. The engine cover's already off of this thing, so it's just a matter of looking at the coil when I did this. Alright, so like I said, I think that coil is toast. And so we are going to, let me turn this a little bit because it's on the magnet. I don't want it to be pulling against me as I do this. I might put you on the other side so you can watch a little bit better. Yeah. Of course, if you have a business card or something, it's best to gap it like that. I've gotten to the point where I almost go by eyeballs, honestly. And I know there'll be people commenting saying, you need to use a feeler gauge, and etc., etc. Alright, so that's on. I've got a different plug. I might as well try the same plug. Why not? See what we got. Throw it on the exhaust here. Y'all may not be able to see it on that camera, but... And we have spark now. I don't know if I can show y'all very well, but it was sparking. I might have to put this on the jumper in order to get it to start for us. Check the oil, make sure it's... Yeah, it's alright. It'll need to be changed, but... Such a tight tolerance to get the plug back in, but it'd be crazy because I gave him like $150 discount for the mower, or for trading me this. The way I look at it, I sold 2 mowers to him for $150 less than what I was asking for them. People are easily going to try and haggle you for that, so I don't really consider myself having a lot of money in this thing. And usually, when they've been cutting the same season, there's not that much wrong with them. So, oh, there we go. See if this thing's got enough juice to crank for us now. Hopefully it does. If not, I'll have to hook it up on the jumper. That's all it was. I wonder if the blades and everything are working like they should. Get in the garage. I need to reseat them tires and throw some ATF in them because they're dry rotting and going flat on me. So plug coil wire plugged in. Ouch. There we go. The fuel solenoid killed it. I had a Craftsman that was doing the same thing, and then the fuel solenoid started acting up because of a wiring issue, and I'm like, why isn't this thing turning off immediately? That'll be why. One thing I noticed is that the coil is very, the choke is very stiff. Mostly because there's a bunch of junk around here, so I have a bunch of crap strewed everywhere, guys. I'm trying to figure out where it is. So let's see if the lube will do that. Make it a little bit more. Probably gonna have to clean it off real good with carb cleaner. So that's one thing I've got to figure out. Is that whole ordeal with the choke. See, some carb cleaner will fix it here. So I'd hate to have to take the spring and everything off of this just to see what we can do with it. Yeah, I might have to reseat that spring or something. That's not a terrible job to do. But first I'm going to get ATF in the tires and put the engine cover back on and drive it around and check the belts and all that mess. Make sure that's all good, and then we will, I'll service it. We'll align the deck if we need to align it and give this thing a test run. I mean, it shouldn't take too much now. It'd be kind of nice if we can get it figured out pretty quickly here, which we already have figured out the main issue. Alright guys, I actually found the hang up in this. It was in the bottom portion of the carburetor. I guess some debris and stuff had gotten down in there, and it ended up seizing. So I ended up taking this butterfly off, pulling this up. Obviously I put the tension back on the spring, sprayed some WD-40 down into the hole there, and it's better. I mean, I have to pull it all the way back with the choke, and I'm just kind of letting it do its thing. And it looks like we have got it pretty much unstuck. Still has a little bit of issue right there at full choke, but nothing ridiculous. And it's not, and the choke doesn't go all the way up anyways like that for the. So as long as I'm using the throttle, the thing's coming right back, which is what we need it to do. So, alright, so that's all for that. Like I said, let me get the tires situated, engine cover back on, and then we'll see how bad the deck and all that stuff is. We could at least check the blades while we're here. I'll do a whole service and all that mess on this thing while I've got it too. I think we can definitely, as long as the blades aren't bent down here, we could almost certainly save those. They don't. Do they look bent? Oh, I got one over there that looks a little bent down. So I need to at least put one blade on, the one on the left. So hopefully they're not rust welded on there. But after I do all that, that should be it, guys. So let me go ahead and get to work on that. It should be not too long. It's pretty nasty too, so we'll have to clean it up, but we're getting very close already by just simply replacing the coil and fixing the carb butterfly here. So that's awesome. Alright y'all, here are the blades on this thing. I wanted to show you. You can probably tell the difference right off the bat. So this one right here that's losing its lift and all that mess, so it's pretty much done in terms of its life cycle. This is an MTD blade, and this was a Craftsman blade that was on it. So somehow, some way, it wasn't slipping off of the blade key, and the star bit of the right side spindle is actually still in good shape. So that's a good thing. I'll show that to you. So I'm going to find some blades that are more worthy of being on this lawnmower, and we will get it back on here in just a second. Alright guys, I wanted to show you, I got the deck leveled. The deck leveling area is on this side of the mower. It's only on the left side. You have to take a 1/2-inch bolt off and then take like a pair of adjustable wrench and kind of, it's almost like a wheel that grabs onto some teeth, and you just get it up and down. It's a little, it can be a little tricky, but pretty easy to get. I was still having trouble with the choke, and so what I ended up doing on this is I ended up taking a drill and a bit that was just barely bigger than what was up here and what was down here, just like the next size up, because I think the plastic was rubbing on the metal. That ended up fixing the carburetor on this, so that's good. I'm going to go ahead and dress the fuel lines back up, put the engine cover back on and whatnot, and then this will be done, save for an oil change, cleaning, and listing, honestly. I will test mow it just to make sure. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a discharge chute on it, so, but it's okay with this type of deck to not have a discharge chute on it. I'm going to take this bracket off of it as well. So we'll do that, and then I'll rejoin y'all with everything that we need to know in order to finish this thing and list it. I got $600 for one that was 2 years older than this and a little bit nicer shape. I'll probably list this one for about anywhere between $550 and $600. I'll show it to you when I get it all cleaned up. Alright y'all, I got it all finished up. I cut the front yard with it. Seemed like it did just fine. A couple other small things I needed to do. For some reason the needle and seat didn't close when I first cranked it this morning when I went to change the oil. But it is now, thankfully. So what I did is installed a fuel shutoff switch on it. I gave it a good cleaning. as good as I could without ruining anything inside the intake. So that's why it's a little dirty on the inside. But I put a shut off switch on here to keep the fuel from flowing in or flowing into the carburetor too badly, and cleaned out the gas tank and had to remount it, so it's on there again. Changed the oil in it. Y'all saw me sharpen the blades. It cut the front yard pretty well, and I think we're going to be alright, so I'm going to give y'all just a quick look. It's still warm, but it started right up this afternoon. Get the tripod here. So you can see my garage is starting to get a little emptier than it was, which is kind of nice. We'll see if we can get more of these out of here before the real end of the season here. But ATF in the tires, they held overnight, so that's good. Put some valve stem caps on just to make it look a little better. I put a new fuel filter in too. Got just a slight hunting to it. I got it to where it'll cut in reverse. I just unplugged that switch on the bottom. For a lot of people, that is a deal breaker, and it makes it a little bit more appealing. Y'all can hear just slightly. It might backfire here. No, it was backfiring. I think it's gotten over that. Had some debris in the tank. I wonder if it got a little bit of that got sucked up in the carb. The fuel filter was a little cruddy, so I just, like I said, I just replaced it. And you know, for what it is, it's going to sell probably for about $500. I might have I have 2 potential buyers already, so that's kind of nice. May not even have to list it to get this one sold. So I don't know how many mowers this is on the year. I do need to put a bolt in that cover there, but we're probably pushing over 30 riders this year, which is great. Didn't think I'd be able to do that many, considering I do this on the side. I work a 40-hour job. In addition to this, it brings in pays the bills and all that good stuff. This just brings in extra money, which is awesome. I essentially had $150 in the mower because I took $150 off, but do you really consider that, since I kind of gave them a price as to what I was thinking about selling things for? So don't really have a lot in the mower. I'll make it maybe, you know, $300 or so off of it, which is perfectly fine with me, considering that it pretty much took me one afternoon to get it going. Cut my yard with it once, and it's sitting here looking pretty good, although it hadn't probably ever been washed. So that's kind of nice that we got that kind of figured out. But thank y'all again for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Again, a very simple issue that we were able to fix, and I hope that it helped you fix your mower if you're watching it for that purpose. Where I tested the coil, it didn't have any resistance, and the one I put on there has about 4 ohms, which is perfect. It's cut grass for 30 minutes, it started right back up, so that coil is good. So easy fix, and it will go on to its new owners. Thank y'all again for watching. I will catch y'all in the next video. See you then.